Quick reaction to the bricks and minifigs scandal from the perspective of someone who's a business consultant, and I help companies dealing with big businesses, vendors all the time, especially companies like AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile, companies like that. And one of the things I found really infuriating, watching the videos about the bricks and minifigs scandal was the way everything was handled, and they were trying to basically gaslight everybody that nothing was going on, and the way that the low-level employees didn't help. But then even worse, when they tried to talk to corporate, they couldn't get any help. And in my experience, usually actually, it's unfortunate, but the structures are usually set up that lower-level employees actually don't have a lot of power, and you really have to escalate and talk to somebody higher up. And that's when it seems like we're finding out, and a lot of people feel, is that the bricks and minifigs corporate, they didn't really care, and they didn't want to do anything about it to fix it, and they were happy with the status quo and keeping the property of everybody. So I think that's one of the big interesting things to look out for, and big differences in my experience is as often you can find people who care, who are at the higher up level. But at the same time, there is a similarity with the initial stages of the story, in which a lot of big companies, they don't really care about it, and they're happy to take your money, and they have a lot of mechanisms in place to make sure that they collect as much money as possible from you as a business customer or as a personal customer. But if you're a business and you have a contract to spend $100,000 with one of these big businesses, they will definitely make sure that they get that whole $100,000 from you, even if that means you have to pay for stuff you don't really need anymore, and maybe miscalculated, et cetera. They'll rarely put in a lot of effort to make it work. And often, if you come with complaints, they'll often, the lower level people will not be instructed to take you seriously and escalate. They'll try to do everything they can to kind of get rid of the problem. And, that's not 100% of the time, but generally that's the case. And yeah, that is very frustrating, but I'm hoping that a lot of companies, executives will learn from this and see the reputational damage that this does, and work to train their employees to do a better job and really take the customer seriously, and trust but verify. But obviously there are a lot of scammers out there as well, but when you're dealing with somebody you've done business with for years, you want to try to help them out. So anyway, that's my opinion. I'm Anders Mikkelsen with Berlin Pacific, and we have a bunch of stuff about dealing with vendors and the big complicated problems which can happen. Hope you check it out.